This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Oberkirchheim. But before that, this video is brought to you by Jayhawk226 and Chasey Dog. Thank you for being farm barons. So Oberkirchheim can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome to Oberkirchheim. This place is somewhere in the valley of Bavaria. From the ground up, this map is flat but has uneven fields. What awaits you are 2 yards with machines, 82 purchasable areas, 45 fields, a dealer, cattle dealer, a BGA, sawmill, 4 animal stables, 8 selling points, 8 productions, 4 greenhouse, collectibles, precision farming, DLC support, and lots of paintable decorations. This map does have 4 required mods listed. That is the Bavarian Farm Pack, Farmhouse Loader, Grass Dry, and Natural Water Plants. And then there is a link to report errors and bugs. Now, I will say that I did load this map up with pumps and hoses, and there are a bevy of Lua errors that happen as a result of pumps and hoses being activated. Upon some diagnostics, testing, trial, and error, I found out the Farmhouse Loader mod is what is causing the issues. If you go in and edit the moddesk.xml in the map and remove the dependencies, if I load this map up with pumps and hoses and this mod removed, there are no Lua problems. If I load the map up with this mod and pumps and hoses activated, I do get a bevy of Lua errors. So we will be removing pumps and hoses from the list of DLC that is activated for this particular map video. I cannot tell you what happens if you use both of these together. You may or may not have issues specifically with using straw or separated manure in the farmhouse loader cow area. With that, let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to use all the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps, other than pumps and hoses. They include additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. We also have activated farmhouse loader, grass drying, natural water plants, and the Bavarian Farm Pack, which are the 4 listed required mods. Let's go ahead and pull a log up. I will also say that if you load this map up in Farm Manager mode or start from scratch, you will find all the farms pre-built exactly how you're going to see them here in New Farmer mode, with the exception of not owning any machinery or owning any land. Now, we did load this map up in New Farmer mode, and that is what we're going to see here in this particular video. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. And the first thing you're going to notice is that this is a smaller map. This map does include all of the standard crop types available to us in Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the lands area, we start out by owning the main farm, which is down here in the southeast corner, as well as Field 1. There's also a farm here. This is the particular farm that has the farmhouse loader building on it. That is viable for $32,472. There are also several animal areas up here by the biogas plant. You can purchase the biogas plant for $34,884. Then you have several animal pens up here, which we're going to take a look at. We can buy all of those between $4,800 and $6,800. There are 2 buildable areas on the map, one right here across from the church for $8,100 and one across the river for $26,406. There are 4 large viable greenhouses that can be found right down here for $17,000. This area right here, right next to the greenhouses, has several beehives and a honey spawn point for $7,200. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the viable farmlands. how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any fields, which field numbers they include, and ultimately how much those farmlands are going to cost. Now, we can, of course, cross-reference the field numbers with our field calculator screen, which is what we are about to pull up, and then that will give us a good idea as to the actual field sizes that are associated with these buyable farm lands. Speaking of field calculator, let's go ahead and pull that up. You'll see that the farm that we start out with owns field 1, and that particular field is 0.32 hectares in size. Since this is a smaller map, you're going to find most of the fields are fairly small. You see several are less than 1.5 hectares, with a few ranging up there above 2. We have field 36 at 2.64. Then we also had field 10 at 2.83 hectares. We do have the standard crop counter available to us in Farm Sim 22 activated on this particular map. And if we take a look at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the base game crops that are available for us to grow on this particular map. We also have the ability to sell our animal outputs in eggs, wool, and milk. We also have silage, hay, straw, grass sell points. And then as we move down through all of the standard base game productions, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell each and every base game production that is available in Farm Sim 22. We also have the ability to buy and sell bulk lime, and we also have the ability to buy and sell stones. Take a look at our starting vehicles in New Farmer mode. It is all new, none of it is leased. We do start out with animals. In fact, every animal pen on this map already is pre-populated with animals. We have 15 cows at the main farm, 300 chickens, and then we have another set of 15 cows over at the other farm. Again, that is the one with the farmhouse loader pen. This map does have contracts available. We do not start out with any production chains at the start, and we do have 100 Elm Creek collectibles that we're going to find available on this map. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. Start out with the Fendt Fabric 511C small tractor, the Valtra Q225, and Fendt 714 Vario medium tractors. We have the New Holland CH7.70 harvester that is paired up with the Verifeed 28-foot grain header. We also then have the Nardi N7030 header trailer. We have the Rudolph TDK 301 RP trailer, the Agrimaz POV5 XL plow. We have the Karat 12500 KUA cultivator, the Pottinger TerraSim C6F seeder, the Kuverland 4140L mower. We have the Pottinger HIT 16.18T tedder, the Pottinger TOP 342 windrower, and then, of course, the Pottinger Boss Alpine 251 forage wagon. Take a look at our mods and DLCs. You will see that there are nothing listed here as far as mods or DLCs that are, mods that are included with this particular map. And let's go ahead and just to take a look at build mode a little bit, because we do have several required mods that are placeables. So we should expect to see a fair bit of those being listed here in build mode itself. We have several Bavarian farm pack buildings. Same will go for our silos, extensions, and containers. We have the Bavarian farm pack farmhouses as well as the farmhouse loader farmhouses. Under production, we do have the grass drying mod. Nothing under custom sell points. We have a large greenhouse. We'll have to check and see if this has anything specific going on with it. We do have the ability to sell large turbines. So those 5 turbines that you see over there, they are sellable. So if you do own the land, you will be able to sell the turbine. Here we have some modded animal pens. that are a part of this particular map. And if we take a quick look on our decoration, see that we have all the standard decorative items. Under painting, we do have access to some custom ground textures. Let's try to find a spot to put those down real fast. So we have our animal mud, asphalt, concrete, another form of concrete, third form of concrete, fourth form of concrete, even more concrete. This place loves its concrete. We have our dirt, grass, another form of grass, forest ground, another form of grass, another form of grass, gravel, more gravel, even more gravel. We've never had enough gravel, so let's have some more. Some gravel with green mixed in. Even more green and gravel mixed in. More gravel without green. Then we have some more concrete. And we have some interesting grass. That's real interesting. Some grass that looks an awful lot like gravel and dirt. We have concrete. We have gravel. We have rock. Wow, that's nice. We have some more rock. And we have lots of dirt. One flavor of dirt. Another flavor of dirt. And there's finally all the ground textures. Ran out of room, didn't we? Here we have... Oh, we can put down big stones. Then we have lots of different plants that we can put down. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. So we have all of the standard plants, right, that are part of the game. Then we have our natural water plants that are part of that mod. Here we have some Oberkirchheim plants. We're running out of room here. Various size grasses. Meadow grass. Big branches. We can paint sticks on the ground. We can paint that on the ground. We can paint mushrooms. We can paint maple leaves. Thimbleberry. Okay. Maiden fern. Stinging needle. Nettle. Okay. Then we can obviously put down cultivated ground, plowed ground, stone small, stone medium, stone big. We have plants, more plants than you can ever imagine. You have lots of variability as far as plants that you can put down. And finally, we have covered it all. Oh my gosh. We got stuff all over the place. I mean, the leaves are pretty neat. We have our mushrooms. Let's go here and look at our textures and such. There's the rock we can put down. Various dirts. Some of these dirts were a little questionably labeled. I can believe that was labeled grass, but that's clearly not grass. 15 firms of gravel. This one's kind of neat. And then lots of various forms of concrete to get your concrete on. And there we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the main farm here. Now, this particular building can be used to place any front loader tools that you might have on racks. nice implement shed. Here we have a water tank for drawing water. We have seed storage. We store 27,300 liters worth of seed. We can either buy seed in or dump in, and then we have our fill pipe. Here we have our farm silo, so we have our dump station and our fill pipe. We have 2 silage bunkers for our cow area. And everything here on the main farm can indeed be sold. So you can definitely sell everything on the main farm. We have diesel storage that comes with 2,000 liters of diesel fuel. Some more vehicle storage. Implement storage. And we are hearing those cows and chickens. Quite so. So we have our animal buy point here for our cows. This particular pen will hold 45 cows, and we already have 15. As I said earlier on, we have our water fill trigger. Not water. Our milk fill trigger. Inside of here, we have our food trough. We have our straw trigger, conveniently marked. Our slurry point. Our manure spawn point. We do have the ability to make use of the upper part of this barn for storage. Bale storage, implement storage, whatever kind of storage you may want. There's the other side of our milk trigger. We have our wardrobe trigger and then our farmhouse sleep trigger. Then we have our chickens. So we have our food trough. We have our egg spawn point, and then we have our interactive icon. This particular chicken coop will hold 360 chickens, and we already have 300 chickens in this particular coop. Let's go ahead and take a look at both of those animal areas. So we have at the main farm here, 15 cows. They already have some food being provided, so they're already at good health. They're going to be pumping out milk right away. Chickens already have food provided, so they're going to be productive and pumping out eggs right away also. And that is the main farm. As I said earlier, everything here at the main farm can indeed be sold. So if you wanted to get rid of all of this, you can sell all these buildings, clear these trees out of the way, and then start basically from scratch here at the main farm, or also over at the farmhouse loader farm. Well, let's go ahead and get set up for the fly around. But before I do that, I just thought I completely skimmed over the soil map. This map does make use of the Alpine soil map that is part of the Precision Farming mod. Let's go ahead and see how that is applied to the fields. Right across from the main farm, we have a good hunk of silty clay coming across fields 38, 37, 36, 19, 18, 17, and 14. To the west of the main farm, we have a nice mix of loamy sand and sandy loam. Right by the farm, in field 1 specifically, we have loam. Then we also have a good mix of loamy sand, sandy loam, and loam to the northwest of the map. Now, the description said this map was flat, specifically with uneven fields. So I would say overall, I guess we're going to see a fairly flat map with fairly flat fields. We shouldn't have too much trouble using kind of slightly underpowered vehicles and tractors as a result of the overall level state of this particular map. I think this map would be ideal for someone looking to play with small to medium equipment Probably nothing over the 6-meter range would probably work fairly well on this map. So here we are. Let's go ahead and make our map fairly large. Directly south of the starting farm, we're going to find the 4 greenhouses that are included. Now, these are not owned at the start, but they are included here on the map. And specifically, we actually have 17 different production facilities available on this map. The description kind of short-sold. It said 8 productions, but no, there are 17. Now, each of the greenhouses does count toward a single production, so there are 4 right there. We also have the BGA, a grain mill, a bakery, an oil mill, sawmill, sugar mill, spinnery, cereal mill, grape processing, a tailor, dairy, carpentry, grass drying, and of course, the 4 greenhouses. Now, here we have our pallet spawn point as well as our beehives. And one question that I had before I was looking at this map was, will the beehives produce honey even if we don't own them? It does appear that even if we don't own the land the beehives are on, they do produce honey. Here we have our dairy. Making our way across the river, here we have those 5 windmills. And we can sell those if we own the land. We have our spinnery and our sugar mill. Here we have the farm loader building. This is the one that does not play nice with pumps and hoses. I believe the Lua errors are specifically related to pumps and hoses' separated manure implementation, because there is a bit of animal husbandry errors being listed there in the animal husbandry Lua. We're going to take a closer look at this area specifically during the drive around, but we can buy this and we can sell everything that is here on this particular part of the map. Following the road to our left, we have a fairly large forested area, and deep inside that forested area, we do have our sawmill. So we have our sawmill located right there. One of our grain sell points is located down here in the southwest corner. We also have a lime fill point and our stone crusher located down here. Coming up the western edge of the map, we have our viable biogas plant. Now, what's interesting about this is the 4 silage bunkers that are placed here cannot be sold, even if we own this land. We can sell the biogas plant itself, so if we wanted to play with pumps and hoses, we could get rid of this biogas plant and build out our own. But these 4 silage bunkers, they are permanent. They're not going to be able to be sold. At least not from the build menu. Here we have those other animal areas I was mentioning. They are all pre-equipped with cows, sheep, chickens, and horses. During the drive around, we will be buying these just to look at how many in each area we do have. Making our way up to the northwest corner of the map, we're going to find our carpentry facility located up here, as well as a little bit of an grape orchard, or grapevines. We've got an area up here of grapevines. And not to be outdone, just past the farmer's market, we have an area of olive trees, also pre-placed on the map, located right below. Then we have kind of 2 unnumbered areas. We have a large grass field here that is unnumbered. We have another kind of open buildable area. And then a buyable shed. Another set of sheds, and this entire northern part of the map is all open for your own land development. Across the river, we have another small buildable area right across from the church, as I mentioned during the kind of intro. We have our cereal factory, our flour mill. We have a sell point here at the river's edge, the fuel station. We have our great processing center as well as our oil mill. We have the tailor located right there, as well as a restaurant sell point. Then right behind that, we have our vehicle shop, but we're going to come back to that. You can see our starting farm over here to the right. We have our animal dealer directly in front of us. A grocery sell point right across from the animal dealer. And then the last area is going to be our grass dryer, which is all the way over here on the eastern side of the map. So let's head on back over to our vehicle dealer. That's where we are then going to grab our Mahindra and do the drive around, where we're going to get into a little bit more detail as to where the triggers are for all of the production areas, sell points, and then we're going to also take a closer look at that animal pen area where we have those 4 animal pens, and then also the secondary farm where we have the additional cows. So here we have our vehicle shop. We have our shop trigger located over here on the side. Go ahead and get that. As I said, there are collectibles all over the map. We got a decent area here for our vehicles to spawn in, and especially given the size of these fields, I don't think you should have any issue whatsoever in kind of swapping out maybe the entirety of the starting fleet and buying your own fleet. Or maybe you want to start up in a farm manager mode. You're going to have the farms pre-built, you're going to have the animals pre-existing, and then you're going to have plenty of money to buy your own land and your own machinery. So here we have the customize, sell, repair, trade, and repaint trigger areas. And again, plenty of collectibles everywhere on this map because it's a fairly small map. And again, we have 100 collectibles spread out over the land. Just across the street from our animal dealership, or not animal dealership, but our vehicle dealership, we have our grain mill. So we have our pallet spawn point, we have our interactive area, and our dump station. And in the exact same area, we have then also our cereal factory. We have our interactive icon, we have our pallet point, and our dump station. There's a lot going on here in town. Here we have a sell point. This is going to be the restaurant sell point. We have our bakery, so we have our interactive icon here in the front. Then a little tight to get around back, but around back we're going to have our dump station and a pallet spawn point. We have our fuel station. And then around back we also have, for those environmentally conscious, 2 charging stations for your electric powered vehicles. We do have a small buyable plot of grass here that we could buy and use as a grass field, or buy and further develop. We'll just go out the exit because we can. We have then our grocery sell point located right here. We have our animal dealer located right there. Let's make our way over here to the grass dryer. So we have our dump station. We have our interactive icon. $100,000? Are you kidding me? I think I'll make my own hay. Thank you very much. And then we have our dump point. Let's go ahead and make our way down to the southern part of the map. We'll drive across the lower part of the map where we will find then our biomass heating plant sell point, as well as our 4 greenhouses. The starting farm is over here to our right. Here we have a biomass heating plant, biogas. But really, we're selling our logs and wood chips. So we're at dump station, and we have our wood cell trigger. We have our 4 greenhouses. And I've gone ahead and bought the land that these greenhouses are on. These greenhouses are set up to take water, tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. So they look pretty standard. Maybe the outputs are juiced on these. I don't use the base game greenhouses enough to know those cycles per month are standard or not. I also went ahead and purchased the beehive area. Well, we've got almost a full pallet already. We have the base game dairy, so we have our pallet spawn point, our dairy dump point here, and then we have our interactive area on the other side of the dairy. The front operations center right there. Here we have those windmills. Let's go ahead and just take a look at that land area. And we are right here. So that is where the windmills are going to be. We're going to have to own field 18, which is going to be $84,000. And I think once we buy field 18, we're going to have access to those windmills. Here we have our base game sugar mill and a spinnery. Just smack me with the gate, thank you very much. We have our pallet spawn point. We have our interactive icon. Our dump point for the sugar mill is going to be around the back, of course. And the same goes for our spinnery. We have our pallet spawn point. We have then our dump point and interactive icon around the front. This road is going to take us down to the sawmill. But before we do that, I want to go up to the secondary kind of cattle farm that is right here. And everything at this particular farm can also be sold. So we have our silage pit. We have a sleep trigger here at the bench. The bench is specifically the sleep trigger. This facility, we do have a workshop. We have our slurry spawn point. We have our dump station for our milk spawn point, I should say. Oil those rollers. We're a food dump point and our straw dump point in here. We have animated cows. I like to see that. We have some static calves in here. We have 5 brown Swiss and 10 Holsteins in the facility. So we start out with 15 cows and we can hold a total of 20 in here. We have another farm silo, so we have our fill pipe and our dump point. Some more machinery storage. We also have the ability once again to use the upper part of this barn. As we are making our way through the forest here, let's talk about some more of our scoring metric. Since we have 17 productions built in, we are going to give the map a full point with respect to productions being built in. We do have the ability to sell all of our base game crops, products, and production outputs. So once again, we're going to give the map a full point there as well. We can also customize both player farms, both farms that have our cows and our cows and sheep. We can sell everything that we have there, so we are going to give the map a full point there as well. Back here at the sawmill, we have our plank spawn point over here by a series of collectibles again. Like I said, you shouldn't have too much trouble finding a whole bunch of those things. We have our interactive icon. We have our dump point for our wood chips. We have our fill point for our wood chips. The back was a sell point. This is a fill point. And where, per se, is the... Where is the logs? There's the sell wood trigger. So I guess this is our dump point for our logs, not our wood chip sell point, but it may also be our wood chip sell point. Let's go take a look. Sawmill, and then our sawmill wood chips. Nope. Oh, that's where our logs are going to go. Okay. We've got a sell point for our products and our grains. We do have a lime buy point here. Let's see if this is only going to buy lime, or can we buy other things? We can buy wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, olives, sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, sugar beet cut, sugar cane, seed, total mixed rations, forage, chaff, wood chips, silage, grass, hay, straw, snow. We can buy snow. Road salt, lime, pig food, stones, mineral feed, manure, solid fertilizer, and packed to wheat. So pretty much lots of things can be bought there. And good luck getting into here. This is pretty tight, but yeah. We're going to be coming in here with our stones. So we have our stone crusher. Pretty tight getting in and out of here. That's some pretty good work to get the traffic not to get bound up there, I have to say. Coming up the western edge of the map, we do have our biogas plant. Then, as I mentioned during the drive around, the 4 silage bunkers here are permanently embedded in the map. We cannot get rid of them, even if we own the BGA land itself. We have the biogas plant here. If we own that, the triggers will pop up, but we have our dump point for our digester. We have our interactive icon, and then we have our digestate fill point right there. Did go ahead and buy these 4 animal areas. So we can go ahead and check those out. Let's start out with our chickens. We have our grain dump point. We have our chicken buy point. 500 chickens in this coop, and we start out with 300 chickens again. We have our spawn point for our eggs. For our sheep, we have our wool spawn point, our food trough. We have then our water trough, and then we have our buy point. We start out with 9 white sheep and 1 token black sheep. We have 10 sheep in the pen, and this pen will hold 15 total. For our cows, we have, once again, 10 Holstein and 5 brown Swiss. This facility will hold 15, and we still have a total of 15. We also have our water, our food, and our milk point. Then we have 4 horses over here in this pen. We have a total of 5 horses being able to be stored here, but we have 2 black and 2 Palomino horses. And we have our water in our food trough right there. Let's go and check. It looks like most of these areas do indeed have food. Yep, the food is already here for our sheep. For our chickens. For our medium cow shed, and then our horse pasture. They're all pre-equipped with food. Now you will see that throughout some fields there are utility poles. These utility poles do have collisions. So if you are farming on these fields and have the utility lines running through them, do note those utility poles do have collisions. Hired helpers will work around them, or you will need to work around them as well. Making our way up to the northwest part of the map, that's where we're going to find our carpentry facility, as well as our olive and grape areas. Thank you for understanding that. We've got our pallet spawn point, our wood sub trigger, our dump point for our planks, and our interactive trigger right there. Our carpentry facility. We have pre-placed crates. We have our farmer's market sell point. Now, with respect to buildings using the new texture technique and ground textures and such using the new technique, we have a large array of ground textures for sure, as well as paintable plants. Now, sadly, the Bavarian farm pack is not using the new texture technique. So the entirety of the main farm and part of the buildings at the secondary farm are not using the new technique. So we are going to kind of give the map just a little bit of a knock there. 3/4 of a point is what we're going to give the map with respect to textures using the new technique. And then with respect to player and interactive areas being clearly marked, I am going to go ahead and give the map a full point there as well. So overall, we're going to score this map at 4.75 out of 5. Very respectable score for a very well done small map. The only big knock on this map, as I said right at the intro, is that for whatever reason, the farmhouse loader, I can't say it, loader mod is not going to be playing nice with pumps and hoses. However that is set up, it just does not seem to like the separated manure functionality of pumps and hoses. And since the farmhouse loader is listed as a dependent mod, those of you on console, you cannot unselect it. It will have to be selected. So I would say you're probably going to have to decide, do you play this map without pumps and hoses, or do you not play this map as a result of that issue? Maybe we will see the farmhouse mod get updated to work with pumps and hoses. That would be awesome to see. Those of you on PC do have the capability of opening up the map file, editing the moddesk.xml, and removing the dependency section toward the bottom. Once you do that, you could unselect any of those 4 mods and load the map up without them. If you do happen to load the map up without the farmhouse loader, right, this one building will be gone. The 15 cows will be gone. That's the only thing that'll happen. So that house and the sleep trigger will be gone. No other side effects. So that is something that is possibly an option to you if you want to play this map on PC with pumps and hoses. So we have our tailor. Of course, we have an interactive icon, our dump point for our fabric, our wardrobe trigger at the front, and then our clothing spawn point around the back. Right next door, we have our grape processing facility, standard base game grape processing facility, and standard base game oil mill. Right, so we have all of those deals there as well. Hey guys, that is going to do us for Oberkirchheim. Hope you all have enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you overly concerned about the Lua errors that we get with pumps and hoses and this map as a result of its dependent mods? Is this something that you want to make sure that I point out in the future, or should I just gloss over DLC compatibility issues and not really focus on what those are, or try to troubleshoot how to resolve those issues? I will be curious to hear what you all think as to that effect. And until next time, happy farming.